Hello, this is Hugh from Kubit, and in this short video tutorial I'm gonna show you how to create a new window family from laser scan data using Kubit's VirtuSurv software. On my screen on the right hand side you see VirtuSurv, and I opened a scan view, and this is the window we want to create as new Revit family. And so for doing that I will start in Revit with a new family. I choose a template for this family, and I will choose the metric window family template. Okay. So in this template we have a default wall here with an opening cut. We can have a look to the interior side. Okay, so before we can start we have to check our measurement values. So this Revit family template has a length value in millimeters. So we have also set up our measurement unit in VirtuSurv to millimeters. That's really important. Okay, the next step is to set up the project coordinates. So our scan project is referenced in a coordinate system, and our family file has also a coordinate system, and the origin point of this family coordinate system somewhere here. So in the middle it's on the center reference plane and on the reference level. So we have to set our project coordinates in VirtuSurv to point somewhere here. Okay, for that I start to send to Revit command line and choose the set project coordinates command, and now we have different options to set the project coordinates. And for this example I will choose this option, create the project orientation and the project origin. So with this command I need 2 points on the edges, so I start on the left and then on the right edge of the window, and now my project coordinate system is set to the x-axis along this wall here between the 2 points, and my origin point is exactly in the middle between these 2 points. Okay, so now I want to set up the height of this coordinate system. So I use the set height option, and now I can click a point somewhere here on the wall to set up. This is my 0 elevation. So it doesn't need to be exactly on the floor, because the sill height of the window will be parameterized later. Okay, so I click a point here, and now we are ready to start modeling our window. Okay, now I choose the model line tools from VirtuSurv. So I have a different option to create model lines in my scan, but first I want to set the active work plane in Revit, so that all my model lines are placed exactly on this work plane. So I choose set work plane here and pick a plane. So I will pick the front face of this wall. You can see it if you use the show work plane tool here. Okay, so now we can start. I will use the horizontal and vertical options for model lines to get a clearer result in the Family Editor. but it's also possible to use the 3D model lines to have a bit more accuracy to the scan data. And then I will also use the point mode. So I use this plumb point mode. That means that all points I click in the scan are exactly placed on the active work plane in Revit. And then I can start with the point at the head and some vertical points in the lintel. And last, I will use this intersection point mode to get exact, accurate points on the sill here. Okay, now I have 4 model lines in Revit. This is will be my new window opening. So in Revit, I select the opening cut and choose Edit Sketch. So now I have this is the sketch of my opening, and with the Pick Lines tool, now I can pick all the lines comes from VirtuSurv, and with the Trim to Corner, I can finish the sketch for my opening, and now I have to select all the old lines and delete, and now the opening is finished. So in the 3D view, you can see here we have an opening created from our scan data. So I go back to the interior view. Okay, so next thing we want to do is to adjust all these reference planes and all the window parameters to our distances from the scan. So maybe you have the idea to move all the reference planes to the new geometry, but this is not possible in Revit, so Revit tries to connect the geometry to the reference planes. Okay, cancel. So what we can do is we select these reference planes here and delete this. Okay, so now I have a clear family here, and I can create new reference planes exactly on my window opening. Okay, and so I have the bones for my new family, and I will create dimensions between these reference planes so that I can later add labeled parameters to these dimensions. Okay, so let's open the family types dialog here, and you can see here the parameters for height and also for sill height, and now we can change the values to the values coming from our scan. So I have for the height 603 millimeters, and here 1017.97, and for sill height 658 millimeters. Okay, and now we are ready to label these dimensions. So I select the dimension here, and from the label drop down list I can choose width, and this is for height, and this is for sill height. Okay, so now we have also parameterized window family again, with all the system parameters coming from the family template. Okay, now we are ready to start modeling the frame and casement. So I will go to the reference level view and create a new reference plane for this would be our mounting deep for the window frame. So I place it next to the wall so I have a better overview while I'm modeling the frame, and I will also name this reference plane mounting deep. Okay, and in the interior view I set this reference plane to my new mounting deep reference plane so that I can start creating model lines in VirtuSurv, and for that I will switch to the scan 2 so I can see the exterior side of this window, and here's my window frame. I start with model lines again and choosing the plumb point mode, and so I can add the lines here and here and a vertical line here. So the other vertical edge of the frame I cannot see because it's not visible in the scan, but later I can mirror this line to the other side. This is not a problem. Okay, switch back to Revit and start an extrusion. So Revit turns over to the sketch editing mode, and again I can choose the pick line tool. First I will select my opening cut, and with the tab key you can toggle through all elements under the mouse cursor and select the opening cut here, and I will also close all these locks so that my window frame will be connected to the opening. Okay, and again with the pick line tool I will pick the other 3 lines, trim the corner, okay, and I choose the mirror tool, select the edge and draw an axis at the middle of the opening rectangle. Okay, and last I will trim this again. Okay, now the sketch for my window frame is ready, and I can finish this editing mode with a green check mark. And let's have a look to the reference level, and you can see here this is our extrusion object. So this extrusion we have to bring to the right thickness, and we can also use our VirtuSurv to find the right points for the thickness. So I choose the XYZ construction point option and click one point here on the frame and a second point from the interior side here also on the frame. Okay, you can see it here. We have 2 construction points and the distance between 2 points, this is the thickness for our window frame. And I can adjust this extrusion using the align tool. So first I will align to this reference from this construction point. So I click on this reference here and then on the mounting deep reference plane, so that the mounting deep reference plane comes to this construction point, and then I can choose with the align tool the reference from the other construction point. So to select the right one you should use the tab key again. You can toggle through all the possible references, and that's the right one, and after that you click on this face from the extrusion, and so the extrusion end will be aligned to the construction points. Okay, So now we start with the casement. So I will switch to the interior view again, and I set, yes, my mounting deep reference plane is already set, so that should be the construction work plane for the next extrusion. But before I can start the extrusion, I will draw some model lines in VirtuSurv. So I start again with the model line tool, choosing the plumb point mode and the vertical option. So this is and how I can draw all the edges from my window, also the inner edges. And here, and then the horizontal lines. Okay, so back to Revit. So I will turn on the thin lines so I can have a better view to the lines, and start an extrusion. And again, choosing the big lines, and then you have to be careful to pick the right edges for the casement. So this is a point on the construction point, a line on the construction point, so I need this line here, and these lines, and also for the inner edges, these lines. And then I can start to trim the corners here and here. Okay, and here I use the trim extend multiple elements tool I will trim to this line, these two, and at the bottom also, and again to this inner edge here and here. Okay, and with the split element tool I can split the lines here and then trim the edges. Oh, this is okay. This is on this side. Okay. So now the sketch for the extrusion should be ready. Okay, yes it is. So, and back to the reference level, you can see here this is the extrusion for our casement, and again we can use the construction points to find the right thickness. So I pick one point from the interior side and a second point from exterior, and with the align tool I pick the reference from the first construction points and to this face here, and the reference from the second one. You can use the tab key again to toggle all possible references, and then we have the casement. Okay, and in 3D, shade it. You can see here the frame and the casement. Okay. Let's clear our family from all model lines and construction points. We don't need them anymore. So I select all elements and choose the filter option. And so I can filter for generic models. So all these construction points will be generic models, and as well as lines. So these are all the model lines. And I'm using Revit 2015. So I have to unpin the construction points first before I can delete it. And so now I can delete all the lines and construction points. Okay, so now we want to create the glass pane. So I start an extrusion again. I will use the pick line tool again, and with the tab key I can toggle through all possible lines and can pick all 4 lines at once. And I will close the locks here, and on the other side again. Okay, and now this is ready. And in the reference level view I can adjust the thickness of my glass layers a bit. So it should be 25 millimeters. And for this I will also change the subcategory to glass, apply, and I will do this also for my frame and my casement, changing the subcategory to frame. Okay, so now we want to add a new parameter for our mounting deep. So I go to the annotate ribbon, start align dimension from this reference plane to the interior side of the wall. So you have to use the tab key to select the interior reference. Okay, and now I select the dimension, and from the label drop down list choose add parameter. So we create a new parameter mounting deep as an instance parameter. We can group this under dimensions. This is okay. Okay, great. So let's change the value for the mounting deep a bit, so that our frame is sitting inside the opening. So that was not enough, so we can do this. This is only that our window looks a bit better for the moment. So can check it in 3D. Okay. So one thing we want to do before we can use this window in our project is to finalize the parametrization. So you can see here we have a width parameter and a height. That's great, but these two reference planes are not connected to the center reference plane, and we want to do this now. Creating a new aligned dimension from this plane to the center and to the right one. And you can see here our window is not exactly in the middle, so we have 901 millimeter to 896. So but we can choose the equality constraint here to bring this to the right dimension. But before we can do this, we we open the this constraint here for the width, and you should have a look to this value. This is 1797, and if we choose the equality here, Revit changes the width, but we don't want this new value here. We want the value coming from the scan, and this was 1797, so we change this again back to the dimension from the scan. And now we are finished with this small example of a new window family from scan data, and we can use this family in our project. Okay, so for that I will save the family to window example. Yes. So here is my my project. This is the Revit model from this laser scan here. You can see this room, the windows, the beam, and the column. And now I want to insert this window here. So first I will load the family we have created to the project. Okay, window family. Yes, and now I have to change my measurement unit to the right units from Revit. So this project is in meter, and we have changed the measurement unit in VirtuSurv to millimeter. So I have to change this again. So I change millimeters back to meter, and now I can start the window command, and you can see here in the type list you find the new window example. This is our new family we have created, and I use the diagonal option with plumb point mode, and I click 2 points in the corner, and you can see here the window. And remember, we have also added a parameter for the mounting deep, so I can create a new construction point symbol here on the frame, and can use this point. I have to change the view range to see the construction point. Okay, here's my construction point, and now I can use the the align tool and choose the reference from the construction point, and from the window you have to choose the shape handle, and then the frame and casement moves to the construction point. And so we have created a new family from scan data and insert this family to our Revit project at the right place. Okay, and with this principles and workaround, you can create any other Revit family you want from scan data. Okay, thank you for your attention.